I just want to run a few stats past you first of all, just to realise where rugby league's going, the direction it's heading. Just to give you a couple of comparisons. In 1999, the total number of club players in Australia, this is 1999, about 12 years ago now, 115,241 players in clubs. Last year, 162,781. So basically, in those 12 years, we've increased the number of club players by about 50% in 12 years. Last year we had more than 10,000 teams in Australia playing rugby league. Also we had women, it's a growing number, 4,824 women players. We had 1,142 Masters players that play under official Masters banners, and as you guys in Brisbane know, there's another Masters group in Brisbane as well that play that aren't part of those numbers. And there was over 1,000, just 1,083 National Rugby League players. So start adding up those numbers, you're getting quite large numbers. Just to give you the increase in juniors in that time, in 1999 the junior numbers were just under 80,000. Last year, just up on 125,000 juniors. Fairly substantial increase there. In schools, and we all need coaches in schools, although not too many of them get good school coaches. 2003, the only figure I could find back that far, 122,000 kids playing rugby league in our schools. Last year, 321,000 played rugby league in schools. And that's directly due to Australian Rugby League development and the influence they've had in the schools. So a massive increase there. And there's probably at least 100,000 others that play in competitions that we don't know about. So that's a lot of league players, and that's a lot of coaches we need. And I suppose that's what we're all doing here this weekend, is working out where the coaches, where we're going to get them from, and how do we make sure they're doing the right thing. You know, with that many increase in teams, and you guys know how hard it is, how do we find that many new coaches? Probably getting someone to coach the team's an easy part, but do they do a good job? That's another part we've got to look at. The coach is the first point of contact for the kid entering the game. Like so far this year in South East Queensland, we've signed on about 1,200, I think, new players that didn't play rugby league last year. That's a lot of new players to the game that haven't played before. There'll be a few of those returning. But their first point of contact with the game is the coach. And now I'll tell you that the main reason players leave, and every year we sign on numerous new players and we lose almost the same amount out of the game. And the main reason, through surveys that we've done, is the coach. So kids sign on, their first point of contact is the coach. And when they don't come back, you ask them why, most of the time they blame the coach. Mightn't be the real reason, but that's, in the majority of cases, that's why they're not playing again this year, because they didn't like the coach. So we've got to ask ourselves, are we doing the right thing with these kids all the time? And I know you guys are here to make sure that you do the right thing, but we've got to get that right message right down to the bottom level of our coaching staff and our clubs. Why are the kids playing rugby league? You know, it's easy, we've got all the rules and we know how to coach them. But why are most of those kids out there? There's a heap of reasons. There'll be one kid there that's there because his dad said, you've got to play rugby league because I played rugby league and your grandfather played rugby league, your big brother played rugby league, so you're playing rugby league. And he's there. Does he really like the game? You as a coach, have you identified that? Does he really want to be there? Or is he there, his dad kicking him up the arse every day and said, you get out there. Then you get the next kid standing next to him. He's only there because he's the best mate of that kid. He doesn't like rugby league, but his mate's playing rugby league, so he comes along with him. Now you've got to identify that as a coach too. Does that kid really want to be there? And you're going to put him through the mill this year, and then next year you won't see him for dust. He's gone. He doesn't like rugby league. Then the kid standing next to him is one of these kids who's really switched on. He wants to be the next Darren Lockyer. He's there like a sponge. He's soaking up everything you've got. And he wants to be the next Darren Lockyer. But he'll probably end up playing Southside 4 in Brisbane 2nd Division because that's all the ability he's got. So you've got to deal with that personality as well. And then you've got the kid that's come along and thinks he might be okay, and you as a coach identify him and say, this kid is good. He's going to be a really, really good player. And he probably needs a little bit more work in a different direction to keep him on track. So there's 4 diverse personalities straight away that as a coach you've got to identify with. So the point I'm trying to make, I suppose, is, and I don't know if you've identified this already or not, is that when that group of kids comes to the club for the first year and they haven't been there before, we've got to make it enjoyable for them. You've got to make it enjoyable for them, and you've got to identify all these different personalities in there. And how are we going to do that when you've got a big bunch of kids in front of you? And that's a challenge, I think, because if you spend too much time on the kid that's going to be the next Darren Lockyer, the kid that's over here, that's only there because Dad's kicked him up the arse to be there, he won't be there next year. He might even last the season. And if you spend too much time on these kids here that are just here to have a good time and muck around and be with their mates, well, next year, the good kid, he'll be off. He'll go to another club where he gets a better coach. So that's a challenge I throw up to you, to be able to deal with that. And I don't know how many, where you identify those and how you identify and how you deal with that. I'm no expert on it, but I know the situation that confronts you. Rugby league's all about fun. These books are all given out to the kids as they signed on. And if you have a look through that, and I presume you've all seen it, it's all about fun. You know, kids enjoying themselves. There's a lot of good messages in there, but really, we only want them to have a good time. And that's my message to you today, is just make sure the kids have a great time when they come along to play footy. It's not all about winning premierships, and I don't think it should be all about winning premierships. I think we want those kids to have a good time. They're put in our care, they're put in our trust. We just got to make sure that we do the best thing for them. So, you know, we're not out there on our own with rugby league. There's a lot of other things kids could be doing, couldn't they? I mean, they get out there, the social media is a big thing now. There's other sports for them to play. AFL are chasing them all, rugby unions chasing them all, soccer are chasing them all. We're just one of a number of sports. Then there's the beach. As they get older, there's the girls. So, is it cool to play rugby league? Is it the in thing? Do they want to play rugby league? We've got to keep them happy. We've got to make sure that they enjoy what they're doing. So just keep that in your mind when you're coaching, when you're instructing your coaches. Are the kids enjoying themselves? Is it cool to be here at training? Is it cool to go out and play on the weekend? How can we make it enjoyable for the kids? How can we make it enjoyable for their parents that come along and watch? Or the girlfriend that comes along and watch? Or grandma and grandpa that are there? The idiot on the sideline over there, I know you're the coach, but the idiot over there yelling out abuse at the referee, calling the kids everything. Grandpa and grandma sitting here listening to this idiot over here, they won't come along next week. So the more he's there yelling out, the less people you get come along supporting the kids. And at the end of the season, they'll say, oh, why don't you go and play something else? Or why don't you go do something else? I don't really like that game. So get rid of the idiot. That's easy. Just get rid of him. I mean, you're not as you as coaches, I mean, but that's up to you to get the message through to your club. But you don't want that idiot there, because next year you're going to lose all these kids. And believe me, that happens. People take their kids away if you've got a bad element in the club, and that will continue to happen.